Do you want to know the secret to making every soup, every rice dish, every stew, every sauce that you make taste better? Hi, I'm Coco, and this week on the Afternoon Macaroon, we're going to be diving deep into the artistry of making homemade stuff. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's so convenient to buy the stuff that's in the store, but I'm going to show you how, with just a few simple steps, you can make the most delicious homemade stock. You could transform some of your kitchen scraps into the most delicious base for all of your soups and stews and sauces, and make things like plain white rice sing. I know this can be intimidating, but I promise you this is something that you can do, and once you've mastered it, you're gonna wonder what took you so long. This is my secret weapon to making all of my stocks so easily. You just get a simple Ziploc freezer bag and fill it with all of your kitchen scraps. This is lemons that I've squeezed, garlic that I've pressed, celery tops, chicken bones, pork bones or beef bones that you've cooked from other meals, onion tops, everything that may have gone into a compost bin, I keep here in this freezer bag. I just pop it open, and then when the bag is full, it's time to make the stock. We're going to pour the entire contents of our bag into a large stock pot. Then we're going to fill the entire stock pot with water. Now, you want to make sure everything that you put in the bag is covered with the water. This is going to come to a boil, so everything needs to have enough room to bubble about. We're going to put on our burner, and you want this at medium-high because we're going to bring it to a full boil first. You may have noticed I didn't add any salt, and that is because my bag includes chicken that was highly spiced when it was cooked, so it doesn't need any additional salt. But if you do want to add salt or pepper, now would be the time to do so before the boil. And you're going to want this to boil for at least half an hour if you are using bones of any kind. And that is simply so that the flavor that's locked in that marrow breaks down, and you're going to get that beautiful golden color in your broth that comes from bone broth. If you're using just vegetables, you still want to have this at a high boil for at least 20 minutes so that the vegetables themselves break down and release the delicious flavors on the inside. I let mine boil for about an hour, and sometimes a little bit more, just depending on what it looks like, but you really want those to have a chance to release all of the juices from the inside before you bring it down to a simmer. You'll notice that we're doing this part with the lid off. As soon as we bring it down to the simmer, we are going to go ahead and put the lid on and simmer it for the next few hours. It should be pretty good at taking care of itself. You may want to watch to see if you need to add a little water if it's reduced too much, and give it a good stir just to make sure all those flavors are coalescing. I let mine simmer for about 5 to 6 hours, but up to 7 or 8 if you have the time. Then you can remove your pot from the stove and get ready to strain your delicious stock. Just set up a simple colander inside of a large bowl, and you're going to pour your delicious stock into the colander so that you can strain all of the bones and vegetables that you just cooked out of the stock, so that you're left with just pure, beautiful chicken, vegetable, pork, or beef stock. After you have poured all of your stock in, simply lift up that colander, and then you can set it back in your pot to drip the last few little bits out, and you should be left with your beautiful, golden, delicious stock that is absolutely packed with flavor and nutrients. You're going to want to let this cool for a little while. If you are using glass jars like I am, you can place a funnel over it, and the broth can be a little bit warm still when you put it into the glass. If you are using plastic, I would let that broth cool completely to room temperature before putting it away. I like to start off by just ladling a couple of scoops into the glass jar, letting it fill up that way. You can see I'm not super tidy, even with the funnel attached to it, but this is easier than pouring the full bowl into the jar, and you have that funnel to help guide your broth into the jar. By the end, I kind of stop using the ladle and just can lift the bowl up completely and pour it into the jar, but that is chef's choice. For the cleanup, I like to take a plastic grocery bag and put it over the top of my colander that's drained, and then I can just flip the colander over and pour the contents into the bag. Seal that really well before I throw it away in my trash can, so no worries about any leakage there.
These jars are literally liquid gold. They will transform anything that you want to make that requires stock or bone broth into something absolutely delicious. And that's it for this week's episode of the Afternoon Macaroon. Thanks for stopping by to take a bite with me. I'm Coco, and until next time, bon appetit!